welcome to the deep dive. Let's just take a moment. Picture this. Las Vegas, Friday night. The lights, the sound, that electric buzz in the air. You're in one of those incredible nightclubs, right? Millions spent on the design. Pure glamour.
Total sensory overload in a good way.
Exactly. But underneath all that glitz, there's this engine running, a really complex sales machine driving everything.
And that's what we're getting into today.
Yeah, let's unpack this. We're doing a deep dive into something pretty fascinating, actually. It's a training manual from UNLV, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Right.
And it's specifically designed to boost sales for bartenders and cocktail servers in those exact Vegas nightclubs.
High-stakes stuff.
Totally. So our mission here is to figure out the strategies, the psychology, behind making the absolute most money in like one of the toughest hospitality scenes anywhere. And crucially, what insights can you, the listener, pull from this for your own world?
Yeah.
Sales, customer interaction, whatever it might be.
And the source itself, it's Robert Boyer's 2010 professional paper from UNLV. It's compelling because, well, you don't often see this kind of academic rigor applied to the nightclub industry.
Right. It's usually just seen as entertainment.
Exactly. But this manual, it lays out a blueprint. It shows the sharp business thinking behind it all. Strategic selling, plain and simple.
Okay, so let's start with what the manual calls the bottom line in the City of Lights. Back around 2010, Vegas nightclubs, the competition was just intense.
Oh, fierce. We're talking huge money, millions and millions poured into building these places, moving way past the old kind of warehouse-style clubs.
Yeah, these were architectural statements, a constant sort of arms race for the newest, coolest spot.
And that's where the manual really hits the nail on the head. A stunning venue, great, but it's not enough.
Not nearly enough.
The employees, the frontline people, bartenders, servers, they have to be more than just, order takers. They need to be effective salespeople.
That shift seems absolutely critical.
It is. Without it, even the fanciest club will struggle. And remember, these clubs are massive revenue streams for the big hotels and casinos in Vegas. So getting that frontline sales piece right is crucial for the bottom line.
And what really struck me was this focus on the lack of specific sales training for these key people. You spend millions on the chandeliers, but maybe not enough on the folks actually interacting with the guests and, well, generating the revenue.
It does seem a bit counterintuitive, doesn't it? And their roles, while different, are both vital. Bartenders need incredible speed. Serving maybe 300 plus people a night. Every pour, every interaction needs to count financially.
Maximize every single sale.
Right. And then cocktail servers. The manual explicitly calls them the catalyst for additional bottle purchases. They're not just delivering drinks.
They're setting the stage for more spending.
Exactly. They have to read the table, adapt to different customer types, keep the energy up, and subtly encourage those bigger purchases. It requires a lot of skill.
Okay, but before we get into the how they sell, we need to understand why this specific type of selling became so important. And that means looking at bottle service, right? Its history is kind of unexpected.
Oh, definitely. It didn't just pop up in Vegas fully formed. You trace it back, and the origins are quite different. It starts, believe it or not, in wartime Japan, 1941. Soldiers getting sake bottles served at their tables.
Wow, okay.
Then after the war, Japanese businessmen started buying bottles at bars and clubs and keeping them there, often in lockers, for their next visit. Sort of an early loyalty thing.
Interesting. So it wasn't about VIP status initially.
Not really.
Yeah.
Then jump to Paris, 1988. Le Bain Douche.
Yeah.
They were getting mobbed. Too popular. So their innovation was selling table reservations that included a complimentary bottle.
Ah, so crowd control, basically.
Primarily, yeah. It managed who got in and gave a sense of exclusivity, but it wasn't the main moneymaker yet.
Then comes New York.
Right, the 90s. Clubs like the Tunnel started offering bottle service in VIP sections.
Yeah.
Maybe $90 for a bottle. And back then, compared to $6 or $7 a drink, that actually felt like a decent deal for a group.
Okay, so it was value-driven at first.
But then, around 1995, clubs like Spy Bar, Chaos, they flipped the script. Bottle service wasn't the dealing word. It was the only way into the VIP area.
Ah, the velvet rope effect.
Precisely. It became purely about status and exclusivity. No bottle, no entry to the best spot.
And that's when it really took off.
That set the stage. The early 2000s saw the explosion. Clubs in NYC like Pangea, Bungalow 8, Lotus, suddenly are charging like $500 for a bottle of Grey Goose.
Wow.
And that model spread like wildfire. Miami, then Vegas. Bottle service became the absolute engine of nightclub profit.
So the takeaway from that history is, it shifted from convenience and crowd control to pure perceived value and exclusivity.
Absolutely. And that shift created this massive urgent need for staff who weren't just serving but actively selling that high-priced exclusivity. It really changed the game.
Which brings us right back to why this training manual exists.
Exactly. So let's dive into the psychology of the sale. The manual emphasizes it's not just about product, it's really about understanding people.
And that understanding has to start from the top, from management. The manual raises a good point. How do you get busy managers to buy into new training?
Yeah, they probably think they've seen it all.
Right. So the manual stresses that managers need to be experts themselves, fully committed, before they can train anyone effectively. It talks about investing in human capital, the skills people build. You have to avoid, as one researcher put it, teaching the wrong things to the wrong people in the wrong way.
Makes sense? Bad training is worse than no training.
Definitely. And when you invest properly in sales training for everyone, it leads to better job satisfaction, more commitment to the club, and actually lower turnover. So it's an investment that pays off in multiple ways. So leadership buy-in is foundational. Then, when it comes to the jest, I love the manual's core philosophy. Selling is a combination of helping, respecting, and understanding the customer and their needs. It's not aggressive.
Not at all. It even says selling is simply buying in reverse, which is clever, right? Just think about your own good and bad buying experiences. You know what works on you.
That really resonates. Okay, so how does the manual suggest tailoring the approach?
It breaks guests down into 4 main types, which is honestly a useful framework anywhere. First, you have the experts.
Okay, the regulars, or the connoisseurs.
Yeah, seasoned club goers, people looking for the absolute newest, coolest thing, the latest vodka flavor, that special champagne vintage. With them, servers need to be bold, show deep product knowledge, really sell them the world.
So you got to know your stuff for them.
Absolutely. Then there are the new buyers. They're maybe intimidated, inexperienced with bottle service.
They need coaching.
Make them feel comfortable. Exactly. Make them feel special, walk them through the menu gently, offer reasonable suggestions, build trust, don't overwhelm them.
Got it. Who's next?
Established buyers. They've done it before but aren't, experts or regulars. You need to read them carefully, guide them, maybe suggest mid-range options first, see how they react. More consultative.
Okay, case by case. And the last one?
Routine buyers. These are often your casino hosts, independent promoters. They know the drill, they know what they want.
So less selling, more facilitating.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Primarily an order taker role here. You only upsell or suggest if they actually ask for a recommendation. Speed and efficiency are key for them.
That's a really practical breakdown. It also touches on this idea of the choice dilemma, doesn't it? Like, how many options do you offer?
Yeah, it's a balance. Too much choice can be overwhelming. Too little feels restrictive. The manual suggests guided choice. This can help steer guests away from things the club might be low on, or maybe towards something they have a bit too much of.
Smart inventory management disguised as helpful guidance.
Kind of, yeah. And it prevents people ordering obscure stuff that just sits there. It also connects to quality versus price.
Right. People will pay more if they perceive the quality and the service justify it.
Definitely. But the crucial point the manual makes is don't gauge the guest. Don't just push the most expensive thing right away.
Build trust first.
Exactly. Maybe recommend a popular mid-priced vodka if they ask for a favorite. Then, if they seem open to it, mention the super premium reserve blend for something very special. It's a gradual, trust-based approach. Feels like partnership, not pressure.
Okay, so understanding the guest is the foundation. Now, how do you actually train people to do all this, especially in such a fast-paced environment? The manual digs into mastering the craft, right?
It does. And it notes something interesting. For such a crucial part of hospitality, there's actually not a ton of academic research on training specifically for this industry, and even less for nightclubs.
That is surprising given the stakes.
Yeah, especially when good training clearly boosts everything. Employee performance, service quality, guest satisfaction, even how long staff stick around. Grey Goose is Grey Goose wherever you buy it.
So the service is the difference.
It's the key differentiator, and training fuels that service.
And this manual's design is interesting too. You mentioned minimalist design, like from the tech world.
Exactly. The idea is to fight information overload. Cut down the pages, make it super user-friendly, task-focused, easy to find what you need quickly. They aim to cut learning time by like 40%.
Wow. And they even threw in some humor.
Yeah, bits of humor to keep it engaging. It's a pretty modern take on training material.
So what kinds of training methods does it actually recommend?
A few key ones. Behavioral modeling is big. That's basically learning by watching experts perform tasks, then using self-instructional thoughts to guide your own performance. It focuses on attention, remembering it, actually doing it, and being motivated.
Learning by seeing and doing makes sense.
Then there's a technique called spotlighting. This sounds intense. It's a classroom thing where trainees get put on the spot, have to answer impromptu questions for a minute or two.
Oh, wow, like quick fire scenario.
Yeah, exactly. A guest complains the music is too loud. What do? They say they only drink cheap beer. How do you respond? It builds that ability to think on your feet, handle objections, adapt your selling approach instantly.
That sounds like trial by fire, but probably really effective for building confidence.
I imagine so. It also mentions more standard things. Pre-shift briefings, weekly team meetings, bringing in guest speakers, maybe wine experts or successful industry vets, keeping things fresh.
Okay, let's talk specific techniques. Upselling comes up a lot. The manual calls it an art form.
Yeah, the best do it without guests even noticing. It's influencing guests, subtly, to buy more expensive options or add things on. Like that UK report, it cites just upselling Red Bull as a mixer boosted revenue by 67%.
67%, just from suggesting a mixer.
That's what the report found. It shows the power of small suggestions. The manual gives examples. Like, instead of just taking an order for Absolute, I maybe suggest, have you tried the new Absolute Mango? It's great with Red Bull.
So introduce something new and add the upsell mixer. Sneaky.
Or someone orders a standard gin and tonic. Suggest Bombay Sapphire instead, maybe with a new lime-infused tonic water.
Elevate the whole drink.
Right, and the beer bucket example too.
Yeah, turning a small couple of beers order into a 6-pack bucket by framing it as a deal 6 for the price of 5. It increases the total sale value while making the guest feel they got something extra.
It's about reframing the value, but it also emphasizes the fundamentals, right? The back to basics.
Absolutely. Don't assume everyone nails these. Simple things. A genuine smile builds trust. A warm greeting, even if it's just verbal, sets the tone. And really listening. Active listening is critical to actually meet needs, not just process an order.
Foundational stuff. And then it groups the more advanced skills. Yeah, into 3 areas, which kind of build a complete salesperson profile. First, interpersonal skills. Listening, empathy, optimism, being perceptive, like noticing someone's drink is low and asking if they'd like another before they have to flag you down.
Being proactive?
Exactly. Second, salesmanship skills. Adapting to those different buyer types we talked about, using consultative selling so the guest feels involved, knowing how to negotiate or frame recommendations like why Crystal is special, not just that it costs a lot, and matching the guest's energy.
Reading the room, basically.
And third, technical skills. Really knowing your customer base, picking up on cues, managing that buyer-seller relationship, carefully building trust, not just extracting cash, and crucially, knowing what your competitors are offering.
It's a really comprehensive skill set when you lay it all out.
It absolutely is.
Okay, moving on to the product and the playing field. You can't sell it if you don't know it.
Right. Before we can sell anything, we better know what products we are selling. The manual stresses having brief fact lists, key talking points beyond just, it tastes good.
So not needing to be a master distiller, but knowing enough to sound knowledgeable.
Precisely. Like knowing Ciroc vodka is made from grapes, which gives it a smoother feel that's a selling point that justifies the price. It adds a story.
Okay, so give us a quick rundown. What are some key product points?
Well, for vodka, it mentions production basics, grain, potatoes, fruit, and highlights key brands. Absolute from Sweden, single source. Ketel One from Holland, 300 years of history. Grey Goose, the French wheat vodka that just exploded in popularity. Belvedere from Poland, known for that light-up bottle. And Ciroc, the grape one, pushed heavily by P. Diddy.
Right, those names are iconic. What about gin?
Key flavors juniper, obviously. Mentions Bombay Sapphire as a popular, well-blended example. And Hendrick's, the Scottish one with rose and cucumber notes. That's a great, unique selling point.
Okay, rum.
Made from sugarcane.
Oh.
Bacardi, the giant from Puerto Rico. Malibu, the coconut rum, originally made to simplify making pina coladas, which is a fun fact.
Ah, didn't know that. Then the whiskeys.
Yeah.
Always confusing.
Yeah, it clarifies. Bourbon is American, mostly Kentucky, at least 51% corn, like Baker's Mark. Whiskey with an E is U.S. and Irish, like Jack Daniels. Scotch whiskey, no E, is from Scotland, barrel-aged. Big difference between single malts like Macallan from one distillery and blended scotches like Johnny Walker Black or the super premium Blue Label, which use whiskeys from many distilleries for consistency.
That's a helpful distinction. Tequila.
Made from blue agave, mostly in Mexico. Patron is huge, obviously. Lots of pop culture cred. Good upsell to their platinum version. Don Julio's position as a pioneer in luxury tequila, great sipping recommendation for the añejo.
Good tips. And wine champagne.
Limited wine focus, maybe Chardonnay and Cabernet. Big focus on champagne, explains it must be from Champagne, France. Talks about the grapes. Non-vintage versus vintage, highlights Dom Perignon, always vintage. Crystal, that distinctive bottle, big in hip-hop. Perrier Jouet or PJ, elegant floral bottle. And Veuve Clicquot, great consistent NV, good relative price point.
Knowing those key facts lets you guide the customer effectively.
Exactly. It transforms you from order taker to knowledgeable consultant. That's a principle you can apply anywhere, selling software, services, anything. Turn facts into a narrative that adds value.
Absolutely. And the final piece, competitive information.
Crucial, know your competitors. But the big rule is never, ever speak badly about them.
Professionalism first.
Always. Just provide factual info if asked. Yeah, Trist usually has a $30 cover on weekends. The manual listed specific clubs and details back then.
Like Trist, XS, TAO, Levio, all those big names.
Right, their hours, covers. The point isn't the specific list now, but the principle. Know the landscape factually to help your guests, not to trash the competition. Because ultimately, these clubs, even rivals, kind of rely on each other to keep Vegas buzzing.
That makes sense. It's about being a helpful resource. So wrapping this all up, what does this incredibly detailed look inside Vegas nightclub sales mean for you, the listener?
Well, even if selling $500 bottles of vodka isn't your day job.
Probably not for most of us.
Right. But this deep dive really shows how fundamental things like human connection, making people feel value, and having genuine knowledge, how deeply intertwined they are in any successful interaction that involves persuasion or influence.
So the question to ponder is, how could applying a bit of that nightclub sales mentality, being adaptable, being knowledgeable, being really focused on the other person's needs and perceptions, how could that elevate your interactions, whether it's at work or even, in personal situations?
Where can you move beyond just taking the order in your own life or career and instead truly understand the need and strategically add value?
It's a powerful framework. Definitely gives you something to think about.
Pushing us to be a step ahead, always understanding the dynamics at play.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. Until next time, keep digging deeper.